Good morning, everyone. I hope all students are doing well. I hope all of you are safe and staying healthy. My name is Dushyant Patni. Some of you may not know me because you haven't met me. Some of you have met me in the school. So I'll be taking your English video lectures from now on. And today we'll be focusing on the rat trap from your Flamingo reader. One request I make from all students is to go through the chapter on your own. You can pause the video, you can fast forward it, you can rewind it as much as you like. But I would like all of you to go through the chapter on your own because it will make you understand the video a lot more. First, we'll be doing an introduction just to the chapter and everything, then the introduction to the author and the culture and the time when the story was written. Then we'll explore the themes and the characters, then the language. And then we'll talk about the chapter as a whole, and then I'll finish off by giving you exercises, question answers, and all the miscellaneous stuff. If you have any issues, I'll be putting down links to where you can contact me in the description box and at the end of the video. I have also set up a Discord server, which, you all will be attending Google Meets and I will be taking Google Meets. But at the same time, I would like for you all to join the Discord server because that makes it much more interactive and that doesn't limit you to contacting me only at the Google Meets. You can contact me anytime you want. I'm here to address any issues, any questions, any problems you might have. English language, the English as a subject. If you're writing and you're having trouble writing about other subjects, anything you need, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be putting the links in the description. So let's get started on the lesson and I hope you guys have fun. Let's start by talking about the author, Selma Lagerlöf. She was born on 20th November 1858 and passed away on 16 March 1940. She was a Swedish author and a teacher. She published her first novel at the age of 33 and was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, which she was awarded in 1909. Now we'll take a quick look at the key facts of the story. The full title is The Rat Trap, as we all know. It was written in Sweden. The literary period for this piece is the 19th and the 20th century. The genre is short story and Swedish literature. Its setting is rural Sweden, not the modern country that we know of today. And the point of view is third person omniscient. We'll talk about the point of view later as we delve more into the literary side of things. But for now, these are the key facts that you need to keep in mind as you read. Let's start by taking a look at our protagonist, or the central character of our story. We are told that he makes rat traps out of wires and scraps and sells them to survive. When he cannot sell rat traps, he indulges in petty thievery or begging. He lives a very hard life with nothing to own, with nowhere to live, and travels from place to place just looking for his next meal or the next place where he can find shelter. He lives a very hard life and he can trust no one. The second character that we are introduced to in the story is the old man, also called the crofter. A crofter is someone who rents and works at a small farm. The old man lets the peddler spend the night at his house and offers him company, food, tobacco, and conversation. But in the end, the peddler steals money from the old man and leaves. The third character we are introduced to is the iron master, who owns the factory where the peddler takes refuge at night after he has stolen money from the old crofter. The iron master was in the military in his younger days and he mistakes the peddler for one of his old regimental comrades, known as Captain Von Stahl, which is where all the misunderstanding in the story begins. The final character of our story is the daughter of the Iron Master, Edla Wilmanson. She is described as being exceptionally kind and perceptive and convinces the peddler to come to her house and ignores the fact that he is not who he claims to be. She is one of the most positive characters in the story and is responsible for the transformation of the peddler from a cynic into an honest man. So let's take a look at an overview of the story. I hope everybody has been through the chapter by now. And if you haven't, you can pause the video here and read through the entire thing because I'm not going to read you the entire story. It's going to take too long. You need to read it on your own. Remember, keep a dictionary with you at all times whenever you're reading anything. I know people have dictionaries on their phones and everything, but a physical, actual copy of a dictionary is much more helpful than the online version, according to me. So let's take a look at the story. By now, you should know it's about a rat trap seller or a vagabond, as we might call it, who lives a life on the road, who lives a life that is very, very harsh. Petty thievery and begging is usually his main source of income, even though he sells rat traps, but he doesn't make a lot of money doing it. Second paragraph, the author actually explains what his philosophy and worldview is. So what he thinks is that the world is nothing but a big rat trap with material things as bait or as something we put inside a rat trap to attract the rat, which then closes the door behind him and he's stuck forever. Which is what he thinks the world is, a place which offers you material things and material gains, and in the end, all you get out of it is nothing. You just get trapped. So that's how the story begins, and that's how it continues. The author explains in the following paragraphs what his philosophy is. With him moving along or trudging along, as it says. Trudging is a word you should pay attention to. Look it up in the dictionary if you want. Trudging along the road as he sees a little grey cottage by the roadside and asks for shelter for the night. He stays with an old man for the night who offers him food, who offers him company, who he plays a card game with, and he shares tobacco with him. The sharing of tobacco in that time was a big deal because tobacco, as it is available now, wasn't available back in the 1800s. It was a very valuable commodity. So they both share their tobacco, and the old man then shows him 30 kroner notes that he's kept in a pouch. And for a man who has nothing, 30 kroner is a lot of money. So he decides to stay with the old man the night, and then the next morning, as he's leaving, he decides to come back, steals the money, and then leaves again. But this time when he leaves, he gets lost in the forest at night. It seems like his philosophy is coming true, that his philosophy is self-fulfilling, which means that he thinks that the world offered him bait in form of 30 kroner, which he took, and now he's lost in a forest and he might die alone, cold at night. So that's what the rat trap is. Moves on, he finds an iron mill that working late at night, and he goes in there for warmth and comfort. And he finds that the iron master or the owner of the mill is there at night, and confuses him for one of his old army comrades. The vagabond or the rat trap peddler or the rat trap seller, you can call him anything, decides to play along. He doesn't decide to correct him. He doesn't lie to him. He doesn't say that I am who he thinks he is. He just does not say anything at all. He just keeps going along. He just keeps answering the questions the Iron Master asks him. And so that's how the story continues. And so the Iron Master tries to convince him to come and stay with him the night because he feels like that his old army comrade needs his help and maybe he can provide some assistance. But the vagabond knows that he's going to get caught in a lie and he doesn't do anything about it. He says, no, let me be here. Let me sleep here. Let me be here for the night. I don't want to come anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere. So the Iron Master leaves, but then his daughter returns in a carriage. Now his daughter is shown to be the main positive influence, or she's, in literary terms, she's shown to be the foil. So a foil is somebody who is the opposite of what the author is trying to portray at that particular moment. So here the author portrays the rat trap seller's philosophy as being one of cynicism, as being one where he doesn't trust anyone, where he doesn't believe that there is goodness in this world. Whereas the Iron Master's daughter is shown to be kind, compassionate, and empathetic. So she takes him into her house and she helps him get cleaned up and everything. And the Iron Master realizes once he sees the man all cleaned up and well dressed that he is not who he thought him to be. And then he wants to call the police on him. He wants to call the sheriff on him. The peddler says that this is what I expected to be because like there is nothing free in this world. The world always takes it. It never gives you anything. But the Iron Master's daughter tells him, no, don't call the police. Let us spend Christmas Eve together. Let us spend this time and share the bounty that we have, the blessings that we have together. For the first time in his life, the peddler or the rat trap seller gets somebody who doesn't want anything from him, isn't trying to take anything away from him, but instead is giving him something without any repercussions, without any strings attached, and which is shaking his worldview to the very core. What happens is, like on Christmas morning, they both leave for the church. By they, I mean the Iron Master and the Iron Master's daughter. The rat trap peddler decides to stay behind. He doesn't go with them. And when they're coming back, the father and the daughter are talking, and the father jokes that maybe he'll steal all the silver spoons from the house. But when they get back, they find a badly wrapped package, and inside the package is 30 kroner that he stole from the old man in a note. The package that he leaves is kept inside a rat trap. And once she opens the package, there's a note inside it which reads such: Honored and noble miss, since you have been so nice to me all day long, as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you in return, as if I was a real captain. For I do not want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief, but you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside, who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this world's rat trap if he had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got power to clear himself. Written with friendship and high regard, Captain von Stahl. Talk about the conclusion of the video. I hope everybody has read through the chapter and been through the themes analysis section right before this. You can pause and read it as much as you want. So I would just like to talk about a few things that I would like to conclude this video with. Firstly, being like the moral ending of the story. The moral of the story, according to the author, is the fact that the world might be a cold and cynical place at a lot of times, but there is an inherent goodness in everyone. There is an inherent goodness in every person's heart, which just needs the right kind of support, the right kind of trust for it to come out. Because usually people who are in very difficult places in their life, in difficult times in their lives, they resort to things like stealing or cheating or whatever. But that does not mean that they are bad people inherently, because every child or every person that comes into this world is basically innocent. It's only when it's our actions that shape us. So, I mentioned at the start of the video that this piece is written in the third person omniscient perspective. So, just a little bit about that. The third person omniscient perspective is used to bring to life and develop a large number of characters and to make sure that your world building is true. World building means that like the world of the story feels real to you. I mean, the story is written in the 1800s and it is written in a fairy tale style. As you might notice in the beginning, the author says once upon a time. So once upon a time is usually used in fairy tales and old folk tales and stuff like that. So that's why she uses the third person omniscient type, because it helps her bring to life a large cast of characters and it makes sure the world feels authentic and real. Another important thing about the third person omniscient perspective is that it allows us to see information that the other characters might not know about each other. So we may know everything about all three characters, but as the story goes on, they figure out the information on their own. They figure out like what we know. So that's where how the third person omniscient perspective comes in. It's also useful to introduce readers to major and minor characters, or characters that don't have that much of an impact on the story but still make an appearance. So minor characters get flowed a lot better when you're using the third person omniscient. Is the question and answer section from your textbook, where I have answered the questions that are found at the end of the chapter. You can do this work in your fair notebook, and if there are more questions to be given, if there are anything else to be done, I would let you know. And once again, as I said, you can pause this video at any point in time to read whatever is going on the screen. I'm not sure if the speed is right or not, but you can pause it. That's the best advantage you can have digitally. And I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you guys soon.